Random hamster. Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be going over part 2 to the last video that I made, which was the mega leak that dropped a couple of days ago. If you guys haven't seen that part, go watch it. It's right there on the screen. However, like I said, I'd be making a part 2 to the video. This one's going over the final part of this leak, or the final shape part of this leak. And this one isn't as long as the first part, so without further ado, let's get started. So it starts off, the final shape. Patrol in the garden from the trailer, which is the valley from the other leaks that we've been covering regarding the final shape and what's actually inside of the Traveler. Contains lots of notes to Destiny's past things and secret underground areas where everything, in quotation marks, was born. Now this last part about there being an underground seems like an addition to the original leaks that we've been going over. However, what you'll notice here throughout this first page at least is that this is stuff that Liz has already gone over herself, that she's confirmed, and that we've already gone over. Things like the raid boss being the witness, and it would be a 3-part encounter with him changing forms as we fight him. And if you've been on the channel for a little while, or you've been keeping up with the leaks that have been going around, you'll be familiar with the patrol area where a 6-man activity will take place, and apparently according to this leak, we'll be cleansing the parts of the witness that are probably still left behind or influencing certain areas with light. And also there will be a new enemy type, not an entire enemy race, but as this leak calls it, a darkness unit that behaves similarly to Rulk and the Scorn, which is highly aggressive. Going on further, it says we make a big sacrifice involving the Vex being allowed to partially understand paracausality in order to enter the portal. This then has repercussions to set up a future Vex storyline. Now look, if that ever happens, which I mean, maybe it could happen, the Vex finally understanding paracausality, even just a little bit, would probably make them the most dangerous enemy force that we've ever faced, like at all. If you guys are a fan of my scaling series or my versus battle series where I talk about Destiny characters and tell you how powerful they are, you probably remember me mentioning something about the oracles being Vex supercomputers that can't even calculate our powers. We're paracausal. It's literally the ultimate counter to whatever the Vex can do, because they simply can't account for the illogical behaviors that being paracausal would produce. Anyways, totally got off track there. Cayde is very much dead. The garden holds consciousness of those who have ever lived or died, and he guides us through the entire valley, which does line up with the other leaks that said that he was not going to be like a certain character that would come back. Cayde being in the story is more of like a send-off, and he's more of a guiding force. The Witness plans to use the massive energy of consciousness and bring forth the end of the universe to create its own new universe. Ghosts are made from freed souls of the Witness's people. There's a 12-man mission, and right here where it says no new subclass, that's when things get a little bit fishy. I think it's pretty much widely accepted that Bungie is going to add the third and final darkness subclass in the final shape, and it's literally been a part of other credible leaks that we're getting a third darkness subclass. And according to this leak, midway into the year, there's going to be a large content release establishing the reset of the Destiny universe, and there's also going to be some sort of modular system in place to allow you to play the old saga. Several old raids will be returning in this content drop, as well as modified versions of the campaigns, and these are going to be separate and not affect the main story of the game. Now my only question is, like, this is fine if it happens, my only question is, how big is Destiny going to be at this point? Because the whole reason why the content vault even exists is because that's supposed to be like the weight loss surgery for Destiny. And even though people say a lot of the time that, they took a shit ton of the game out, I mean, they kind of put a lot more stuff in the game ever since then. So that plus this, it would make the game probably well over 100 gigabytes, which I guess is fine until you run into the issue of the next saga in Destiny. Apparently the story is still going to continue after this. So this game is probably going to go through some more weight loss surgery if that's going to be the case. It continues to say that the factions will return. The old tower returns apparently for whatever reason. There's going to be more new characters and things introduced, and a lot of intentionally vague seeds planted that are going to be very nostalgic, calling back to year 1 of Destiny. Now here's apparently what's going to be coming after that. No new expansions in the year 2025. Instead, Bungie will be making very major changes in the backends of the server, as well as the game engine and toolsets. Changes have already been implemented since Beyond Light, especially this year in Lightfall, and it's cost Bungie development time, but major changes will be in place coming in the next year or two. Now, I remember saying something like this in my Destiny 3 doesn't need to happen video, but I'm all for the engine changing, right? The engines need to change, and we need to start on a fresh thing or whatever people are saying, right? Okay, I'm cool with that, but just do it after the story concludes, okay? After everything is finished, then you can move all the BS to another engine, all right? Just let the story happen. And apparently after Tiger has been upgraded, the engine will be used for Marathon and future Destiny projects going forward. Now look, there's not a lot of Marathon info out there, so I mean, I'm kind of following the game. I don't really know what the plans are for the game as far as engines go, but I don't know, man. Like, I'm starting not to trust the Tiger engine, bro. If we want Marathon to be a success, I mean, let's kind of like It's kind of like not do that. I don't want to have to try to sign into Marathon and then get hit with an error code chicken, bro. Anyways, the rest of this page ends up talking about how after the final shape, there's going to be a spiritual reboot of sorts in Destiny. They're going to try to dive deeper into the whole space mystery aspect of things and venture a little bit away from the blockbusters. They apparently really missed the mystery of Destiny 1 and want to go back to that whole thing. And they're going to try to focus more on world building after the final shape in a universal expansion. A decent bit of things are going to come forward from the Destiny universe. There are plans to bring the Fallen Houses back, as well as the Cabal Legions and new Hive Gods. The Vex is going to be the primary enemy, and it seems after they got a piece of information on what paracausality actually is, they try to find out more information by going back in time to different events like Twilight Gap and the Reef Wars, and it's our job to go back and stop them. Now look, I love some lore, I really do, even though I don't know too much of it. We all know Twilight Gap, right? You know, I just really want to see some action from like Shaxx and Zavala. And apparently to end off this leak, there's going to be a few non-major excursions outside of the solar system, which, you know, I don't know how many people want to go outside of Sol, but there's a lot to learn. A lot of people don't know about the Ecumene or even other races that the Hive have encountered, and even the Drifter's been outside of Sol, and he's encountered some stuff, so it would be pretty cool to see what exactly he encountered. It sucks that we might have to wait until 2025 to see it, but you know, I'll still be playing the game. Anyways guys, that's gonna be it for me today. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button. If you want more content similar to this, hit that subscribe button. And also, we're almost at 600 subscribers if we're not already. Thank you guys a bunch. We're almost at 1,000. I'll see you guys in the next one. Sub up, stay safe, and peace.